Hi, everyone. Just give me a sec. Let me make sure the mic is working well. Looks like it is for me. I know, random again. I just jumped on live again because of what just happened downstairs. As I was just spending a moment with God while I was outside having my coffee. And I just thought I'm going to come up here and just say what happened and confess. I saw, so I'll get right into it now. And so I saw this post that a really amazing friend of mine posted, and it was about the 2 Chronicles 16:9. I'll get into it in a second why I'm bringing this up. And he was sharing, and I love that guy's heart and his desire and his vulnerability, humility, desire to go for God, to pick himself up when he's calm, and really not make excuses and pursue God. And same with his wife. I've known her even longer. Amazing sister in the Lord with me as well. And she also brought up this passage as well, put a post up because of what her husband said as well. And good morning, Harikliamo. And so what happened was, it was this passage they brought up. I'll read it now, and I'll tell you what happened to me and what I need to confess. So it was 2 Chronicles 16:9, and he says, for the eyes of the Lord search the whole earth to show himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. So again, for the eyes of the Lord search the whole earth to show himself strong in behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him, or is completely devoted to him. And so I was just thinking, pondering this, because he just stayed in my head. That's what God does. He just stayed in my head. And because God was doing something, he was breathing on it. So I was thinking about that. I mention that a lot as well to people when I'm preaching, to friends, to people I'm ministering to. I say, God is looking for those who he wants to show himself strong through. And I realized while I was downstairs, and this is my confession section, that I was more focused on him finding me so he can show himself strong through me. And that was my motive. I realized, wow, my heart was, I wanted the Lord, as God says there, he proclaims that he's actually looking everywhere to find somebody that he can show himself strong through. So my focus and emphasis was, he's looking to show himself strong through me, through us, through people. And I will encourage people to, yes, that's what he's looking for. So become one of those people. But I didn't realize, or I didn't emphasize, I didn't think about the actual reason he will show himself strong through them is because their heart is completely devoted to him. Not on other things. Like, he's not saying don't be devoted to other things, like your wife, your business, your child, other things. You need to be devoted in other things to do. But he's saying that the fullness, like the everything is built on top of your main devotion, and your main devotion is, and focus is, Jesus, is being with him, is knowing him, is having a heart that loves him. And so my heart wasn't that I wanted him to find me. When he finds me yearning for him. He finds me loving him. He finds me with a heart that's completely devoted to him. I was looking for him to find me so he can show himself strong through me. So my heart was more in wanting him to show himself off strong through me, with miracles, words of knowledge, prophetic stuff happening, the supernatural happening, God using me, finding me that someone that he can use because I want to be used by him. But my heart wasn't that I was looking, I wanted so badly that he would find me. And when he finds me devoted to him. And I don't care if he wants to use me or not. And I was like, and I was tearing up out there, realizing, man, and I'm not saying this is how I've always been, like just wanting power or something. It's not the case. I've been devoted to wanting to be with him. At times I've become casual with that, and I pick myself back up, and I want to, Lord, I want to discipline myself and focus on loving you, making you my number one, not letting the blessings you give me, including my wife, my child, my work, whatever it is that needs to be done, that I have, not let the blessings become what I have been focused on instead of the blesser, instead of you, and not so you can bless me. I've been in that heart, but I'm saying with that passage, I've seen, and at times I have moved towards, I just wanted him to show his power. So and we do this in different ways. I've seen people that want to fast so they can have power. They don't fast so they can humble themselves to be more hungry for God than the food that they want to eat, more thirsty for God than the drink they want to drink. They deny those things for a time, they say, so they can, because they're saying, I want you more than those things. And every time there's a hunger pain, I want to hunger for you. I want to know you more, God. I hunger for you more than food. Like Jesus says, have you eaten? When they said to him, he says, I have food that you don't know of. Because he was, feeding off God, feeding off the Father. And Jesus even said, my body is meat, food for you. Eat my flesh, drink my blood, again, to eat off him. I've gone off track a little bit, but I'm trying to say to you that that's the devotion that I want to have, and I want to encourage you guys to have, to remember this passage that I've said many times myself, and I've said it in a way where I was encouraging people to become people that God can show himself strong through, instead of more telling them, hey, be those people that have such a heart that's so completely devoted to him, towards him, a heart that is he's your number one for no reason, not for what you're going to get out of him and from him, just because you love him. And even if you get nothing ever of the things that you desire or want, even if that, it doesn't matter, he is enough. And that is what he's looking for. And then if he decides he wants to show himself strong through you, that's his problem. But let it not be our what we're seeking for. Let it be that what we seek for is to just love him and have a heart that is completely devoted to him. That's what I wanted to share. I don't need to add anything else. That was my confession. All right, guys, take care. Bye.